inevitable.
Oh, yeah. This is another Chaos Central production. Chaos List, starring my main man Nzo, 1/3 of three-headed monster we call the Chaos Central crew. This intro is by this show, the Chaos List. I hope you like it, bro. Here we go. The Chaos List is the name of the show, and the name of the host you know is Nzo. If you say something crazy, dumb, stupid, or wrong, it's a one-way trip to the Phantom Zone to be like Nzo. Hold up, I didn't mean it. Guess what, son? Your ass should have seen it coming. Gotta watch what you say, just like the Mandalorian. And this is the way. Monday night, 9 o'clock. Second Monday of the month. This is the spot. So get ready. Strap on in. The crew is ready, so let's begin. So let's go.
What's up, people? What is going on? Welcome back. We are here, and we are here to talk. I was going to say with another episode, but I mean, we just started doing the show. It's Lionheart. It is the Roundtable. Got the usual suspects in the house, and a few more will probably be joining us.
Not Warren.
What?
I know you missed me, Danny. It's okay.
Yes, Danny
Okay.
Warren is here.
I got a headache, and this ain't gonna make it no better.
Shout out to people, Danny. Tell them where they can find you, sir.
Not here tonight. You can find me on my channel, The Road to Wisdom, on Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays and Fridays, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me on the Hangout on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and you can find me on Storms Live on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Knight, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on The Real Review 3000 here on Chaos Central, doing a number of different things, sometimes over on your channel, on these roundtables, on Star YT. You can find me just about everywhere. Yeah, so thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Warren, where can they find you, sir?
Nowhere. Just I'm nowhere. I just pop up around.
He is a figment of our imaginations, and unfortunately,
you are here, so there's somewhere we can find you at least.
Yeah, we can find me on Biggerford Entertainment, being Danny's best friend.
Because some person keeps sending him the links. I don't know why.
Well, you know what? We did have a bet, right? So I need to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because Warren's going to need to send me some money soon. Dandelion, where can we find you?
Nowhere really. I just sort of turn up. You know, I'm kind of like the DEI hire on these things. You know,
Absolutely.
and no redheads were a protected class.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, there's been a TikTok trend saying that gingers are new black people, right?
I heard that. I don't believe it, but sure.
Well, I mean, you're getting the card just now, so don't worry about it. You're good. But with that being said, guys, we are here to talk about IronHeart episodes 1, 2, and 3 drop, and actually the next 2 drop tomorrow, right?
Yes.
The next 3. Sorry, the next 3 drop tomorrow. So.
The last 3, isn't it? Just the next 3, and that's it.
Yeah, the last 3. Yeah, the last 3. So we're gonna get into our overall thoughts. I'll start off with you, Danny. Your overall thoughts of the first 3 episodes, and we're doing 3 episodes at a time. We're not like one at a time because we'll be here all night. So.
I definitely think that it got better as episodes went along. It got me intrigued. I'm interested to see. You know, they got the everything's pointing toward Mephisto, but I want to actually see that character. Some people are irritated with the Ironheart character. I must admit, when she was with on Wakanda Forever, I didn't really care for her, but now I kind of see her background, see where she's coming from, see what trauma she went through. So I can sympathize a little bit more with her. I don't hate the show. It's not the best show I've seen on Disney Plus by no means, but it's definitely not the worst. And I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow night to see the retaliation from the last part we saw, episode 3. So overall, I don't have a problem with it.
Absolutely. Mr. Knight.
I don't think your mic's right. So.
Oh, is it?
A little quiet.
that better?
Yep.
Yes.
Mr. Knight, your overall thoughts?
I enjoyed most all of it. I don't really think there was any low point. I think that they've done a pretty good job of keeping the whole show moving. So I mean, so far I'm really interested in it. It's progressively gotten better, but I mean, I was happy with it from the get go. So I don't know. It's really interesting and done pretty darn well, I think.
What up, Ron? What's going on? Ron is someone I met on my 2K game, and I beat him in 2K like all the time. But yeah, well, thanks for popping in, guys. Appreciate it. Warren, you are up, Mr. Warren.
Oh, well, I like the show. Good pacing. They give you a little background history of Riri. They kind of fill you in from Wakanda Forever, which makes you want to peek at it, but not, you know, tip at it. I like the fact that I get something that I've always been begging for the MCU to use more of is magic. Magic is something that they don't want to capitalize on. I'm not sure why, but I'm just happy that they have magic, and I'm interested in the Hood because I read a lot of comics. He's a kind of a B level to B, but he's proven to be pretty good villain, anti-hero ish at times. I like we know Joe the good whatever that guy's name is somebody else, so that's interesting to see that character too. And I just like the fact that this is mission magic. We're gonna finally get we're gonna get. Was it techno magic finally, which is gonna help.
Yeah, they're
help
saying
build
it's
up.
kind of the start to Doctor Doom, right? Like it's hinting at how Doctor Doom is going to use magic and technology. So it's interesting to see if they actually pull that off. So we'll see.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I got more. But yeah, I like the show. For especially if you're a new person, I like the show. It doesn't overwhelm you.
Agreed. Dandelion, overall thoughts.
I'd like to differ from everyone just to like throw it out there, but no, I really enjoyed it as well. I actually really enjoy kind of the moral ambiguity that's going on in the show. It's kind of interesting. I always find that kind of fascinating. I do have a few issues with the show, but overall, I am quite enjoying it. Yep, the story is pacing pretty well, and it's an interesting plot line. So, and I'm glad they're getting it doing it like in a really concentrated way, so they're not like wasting any time, which is an issue we've had with some of these shows. Episodes that don't really do anything or go anywhere. So this has been pretty cool.
Absolutely. What up, DQ? Thanks for popping in. Much appreciated. So my overall thoughts is I think the show is good. I was like Danny. The first 2 episodes were kind of like slow-ish, I would say, but they weren't horrible, right? But that 3rd episode, I was like, oh, this is getting good. This is fire. So I was interested more after seeing that 3rd episode. But the hatred I think that I'm hearing online and stuff about this show is probably
unreal.
what's making me like it even more. You know what I mean? It's so unbelievably annoying with the crap that they say, man. Pardon me?
I haven't followed any of that.
Good, because you don't want to. It's like, oh, Riri's a criminal and this and that.
You try not to throw race into it, man, but it sounds like it's right there on the cusp with some of these people. Not all of them.
Yeah, 100%.
But some of these channels, man, it seems like they just want to say the word and just will skirt right up to the line. I don't understand it because I've always been on the mindset you have to watch something to, in my opinion, to intelligently speak on it. And some of these people from the start, nope, not this, not that.
So they're against the show because it's racist or because they are racist?
No, because they're racist.
Okay.
Because they're racist. And they try to hide it in like concern, like, oh, why are all the black people criminals? Tony Stark was a criminal. You know what I mean? He was making
that's what I was talking about, like, moral ambiguity, right?
Like, I'm like, what are we talking about? Ant-Man was robbing people, went to jail. You know what I mean? So you want to you want to complain because Riri's like doing some crimes and stuff like that to get the money she wants to do. But when anybody else does it of a different race, it's not a problem. And I can't stand those channels. It's absolutely driving me crazy. But yeah, I just want to say that. But other than that, man, I think the first 3 episodes were really good. And we'll get into our positives. I'm gonna go the other way around first. Dandelion, let's get your positives of the first 3 episodes.
Sure. This might not be a popular positive, but I kind of liked Clippy, the little AI pencil early on in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone hated Clippy when he was in like Microsoft Word and stuff, but I kind of wish he was there now because I sometimes can really use that fucking paperclip. And so I kind of appreciated the pencil nod to that particular thing. On a personal level, I thought the greenhouse in the final episode was really cool because I like cool greenhouses. So that was good for me. I really loved the interactions between the characters. Like sometimes I find those can be a little inauthentic, and I really enjoyed the interactions between characters in this particular show. There didn't seem to be a lot of like, it didn't seem forced or weird. And I really liked that the fact that when she came up with an AI, it was embodied as her friend. So, you know, obviously it's kind of cool because it means she gets to like kind of resolve some issues and stuff. But in general, that was just, I thought that was kind of nice. I don't know if that was something from the comics. Again, I'm not a follower of the comic books.
It's from the comic book.
So I'm just enjoying the show for itself. So
got you. What up, Tony? What's good? Thanks for popping in. Brian came in. Brian, what's up? Tell the people where they can find you and your overall thoughts of the first 3 episodes.
Hey, I'm 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We on live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Talk about TV shows, movies, comic books, all those things. I'm all things nerdy. That's what I do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And your thoughts of the first 3 episodes, initial thoughts.
So the show itself, I feel like it's good. I feel like it's well written. I mean, it's well thought out.
Yes.
It really is. My issue is it's more of a me issue. I believe Black women aren't treated the way that they should be, or portrayed the way they always should be portrayed, especially when you have so few. And so she's intelligent. You know, she's intelligent, but she's not street smart, even though she lives in Chicago. I live in Chicago. I'm telling you, these little girls that will go to these kind of schools will be very street smart. It doesn't seem very believable. I also don't think she seems ignorant in a lot of aspects of it that I just don't necessarily like or agree with. But I'm seeing it from my eyes because I live in Chicago, right? Gotcha. I not understand how intelligent women are out there, how the Black women out here are just amazing in so many ways, and I think we miss highlighting a lot of it and give them all those like fatal moral part or immoral parts, like it just things I don't agree with. I don't think that all Black women always go for the bad guy. I don't think that they ignore the good guy all the time. I don't think that they're easily manipulated as she is. I don't think that she's people are always money hungry. And if you do understand who Riri Williams is, Riri Williams is a top 3 smartest person ever created in the comics.
Is this your overall or your likes?
This is my overall feel. Overall.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is not likes at all. Like, but my overall is I feel like they are doing a good show, you know, specifically, but there's a lot of parts that can be
they had nailed the nuances.
Yeah, and it's like it's written by someone who doesn't understand nuances. It's written by someone who doesn't understand what they're doing or what they're saying.
Got you. All right. Well, that was very interesting. Can't wait to hear what your negatives are, because I kind of hear what you're saying, but I would love for you to elaborate more on some of that stuff. So I'm pretty sure you get to that with the negatives. Warren, let's go with your positives of this episode, my friend.
Of the whole 3.
3 episodes.
3 episodes. I like the push pull of, well, I need to do this, I don't have this, I have to make a choice. Consequences are now, you know, showing themselves, and it's given because of her situation, which I kind of will have to push back on Brian here because she does know the streets in a sense because her dad and her stepdad and her friend got killed by a gang by
No,
gun
100%.
by so she does that's why she's doing it for her
No.
for
Okay.
be-
Gotcha. I
but
got
she
you.
but she's do so she does know. I mean you can't I mean I can't believe that Riri doesn't know like her neighborhood like Chicago. Like I just can't believe that. Like she wouldn't be doing what she did if she didn't live if she didn't understand that. But back to the lights again, we get to see the manipulation of the wonderful hood that is controlling Parker. I like the whole I like the group, the gang that he has together. The reference to Rampage is funny, but because he's an actual decent character in the comics. I like the fact that we do get to see the suit, unlike other series. We would get a suit. Like no, am I wrong? Am I wrong? I'm
You
not
should
wrong. This
immediately
one,
IronHeart, and then you don't have to wait 7 episodes to get to
we
them
have to.
in there.
Yeah, we
I
don't. Have to,
wonder what series you're talking about, Warren. Huh? Which
no,
one are
I'm
we talking about here?
no, in general, like I could say Captain America. I could go down the list, Miss Marvel. Like there's a lot of shows where we don't get the suit until like episode 5 or something. Like we got it immediately. Of course, she's gonna get upgraded. So it's nice to see that she got the suit in a tattered, and we saw it before it got tattered.
She stole it. She stole it. She's a thief.
Yeah, she's a
Oh,
hoodlum.
yeah.
Correct.
They
She
tried
did
to
not steal the
play
suit.
that.
Yeah,
They
that's
tried
Yeah,
to
she
play-
did.
She
Wait.
funded the suit with her grant money.
Yeah, so that
That's
it's your individual money. Like when you get
Yeah,
grant
it's
money,
her
that's
suit.
yours.
It's her grant
Yeah,
money. It's her
well,
suit. The AI
no,
is not her
Hey,
it's
AI.
her.
no, wait. I will point out something. Grants do not necessarily give you the rights to the property because if you remember in Ghostbusters, when they were kicked out and their grants ceased, they started carting everything out of their office.
So
It does sound like an awful lot of the parts were from her
But
selling
I'm
stuff.
I would tell you,
well,
yeah,
some
yeah.
of the yeah.
No, I
when
mean,
she
I think
said
actually what
her
Chris
hair,
is saying,
I can see
it
the AI
has.
Hold on, one at a time. Go
but
ahead.
not Stu.
And what were you
So-
saying, Brian?
No, I was to say the Chris has a good point. My dad's a professor, so that he does research and you get grants and all that stuff. So a lot of it is earmarked for personal. You can use whatever for things, and other things are earmarked for. That'll be part of the university's property going on. So if you bought equipment that's used for multi-use purposes, it is equipment property, equipment for the university, and that wouldn't be something you could go home with. But there's like something that you bought, a suit, whatever, for a fundraiser that is now yours, right? So there's Chris is not wrong.
I don't care. I mean, I'm just
The implication
being
was the suit
stupid
was
about it.
hers, the AI that was running it was not.
So it also
Needs to
depends.
take it because it was hers and she spent the time on it. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
get
it also
she like sold all those did all everyone's homework to make money to buy parts for the suit.
True.
Right. So that's what I was gonna say, right? And it depends, right? Because when you talk, and at least here, we have like loan and bursary, right? So you get the loan, but the loan is what pays for the schooling, but the bursary is what you get to pay for whatever you want to. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if she's actually paying for all the parts for it, then yes, it's hers. She may have just been building it at the school, but if she bought all the parts, right. But if she bought all the parts, then it's hers.
So she wouldn't have had a monetary problem if they were going to give her all this money just to buy the parts.
Right.
She wouldn't have an issue. She
Exactly. She wouldn't have got kicked out because it wouldn't have been an issue.
But what I'm saying is, even though she may have gotten that, it probably wouldn't have been enough to buy all the stuff she needed. So she had to do the extra on the side to get the rest of the money, right? But yeah. So
but on the same token, they took away the AI that was running it. They
right.
But they didn't turn up on her door and take the suit back. So presumably the suit's hers, the AI is not.
But there is a negative that I have with that part, which we'll get into the negatives because I was like, really? But go ahead. Go ahead, Warren.
The only thing else is I like the fact that they did differentiate from the comics, but it fits the show, and I understand why. But I have a negative about Natalie. It's because there's something that they could have. It was a perfect opportunity for a character that would have worked well. Other than that, I'm just excited. I like that we're seeing the I don't know if you've noticed in scenes, but you see like how she's like realizing everything that she's doing is not is like what her stepfather was saying, like it's better to do it slow. I forgot what he says. Like it's better to do it slow than fast. And now she's seeing the consequence of doing things fast.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I like that build up. You're muted, by the way, Chris. But that's all I got to say. That's it for my
Thank you.
likes.
No, I was going to say it's something along the lines you have to open things up, like pop the hood on it, look around to make true determination of what's inside.
Right.
Oh yeah,
So it's always like
everything she's doing, there's going to be some consequences in the next 3 episodes for sure, right? So it's definitely good to see how they're going to do that. Brian, what are your positives?
There's a lot. I mean, they did not, kind of tone down her intelligence. They really still try to let you know that she's intelligent, that she went to MIT, that she graduated 15, even though that's a lot older than she really did in comic books. But there's things that they actually they are trying to build a story the right way. It seemingly have a good villain. They're going to have multiple villains, a villain behind the villain. So like a lot of the show's worst part is that they don't have good villains. You give this half-ass villain, and then next you're gonna have a half-ass show. That's just what it is. They are taking time to understand, so you understand why the villain's doing it, but he's still a villain. He's still killing from the first time you meet him. So all those things I think are really good, and they have other characters that are going to turn to something else. I actually love her mother. I love what her mother was. That's very much Chicago. That's very much what was happening. I feel like they're portraying certain parts really, really well. But I feel it's surface level, but at least they're portraying it. So I think those are all good things. And I think they actually are talking about the negatives with the suit too. So those are all things I enjoy about the show, and that they're giving Riri a chance to really have a character arc.
Got you. Chris, your turn.
A lot of what the others have already said.
You liked Clippy too? I
did. I thought that was kind of hilarious because I saw the old Windows or Microsoft Windows aspect to it. I mean, a lot of this stuff is telegraphed, but I don't mind it. The part where she gets kicked out of the school, I was like, how's she going to log into the school and let her in? I'm like, okay, I guess maybe they haven't kicked her off yet. And then they kicked her off. I'm like, okay, that makes sense now. I mean, so everything plays well the way they did it. It's not like you're going like, wait, why wasn't she already out of the things? It takes a minute. Anybody who's ever worked for a company and you hear Bob gets fired, I mean,
they waited until she wasn't like mid-flight to like disconnect her. They waited until she got back to Chicago to disconnect.
Well, she was in flight. I mean, it wasn't like
she was, but she'd made it.
I just think it's an email that got sent to the staff, and they hadn't revoked her rights yet. I mean, it doesn't matter. I liked that. Sometimes you're put in difficult situations, and to achieve success or the success that you're looking for, you make extreme decisions. So she makes an extreme decision. She knows from the get-go she doesn't feel right about joining these people and helping them out, but she sees it as a means to an end to get what she wants. And ultimately, no matter what anybody out there is saying about, oh, she's a criminal, she's this, she's that, while she may be helping a criminal group, she's not doing it for criminal intentions. She's doing it because she sees it as a means to an end to get to the point of what she wants, which is to help people. And we have seen protesters, we have seen activists, we have seen a lot of people do a lot of things for a cause. So this falls in line with that type of a person. She's passionate.
Most billionaires got their money from doing dirty things. You know what I mean? So what are we talking about?
I mean, that stuff happens, but I mean, I'm not even going to go there with billionaires. I mean, again, we know what Tony Stark. Tony Stark was a
arms dealer.
Arms dealer. And he didn't have a problem with it until he saw what those weapons were doing. And he was actually affected with it, which is how a billionaire would act. He'd be like, wait a minute,
100.
I got hurt, and now I need to change this. But I like all the little nuances of her character, all the little nuances and callbacks to the comic book strip right now. Again, we're pretty sure we know where the hood came from in this universe. In this instance, it's not original to the comic book strip or comic book, but I do like that they're keeping the fact that John is a friend of Parker's, and that's from the comic book. This Parker was a person in many different syndicates or groups like this, so it feels natural. It feels right. Again, I'm not going to say it's exactly like the comic book, and we all know it's never going to be exactly like the comic book. But they are keeping a lot of good callbacks to the comic books that help it feel more like the comic books. It's done really well. So I like all that. I really do like the third episode, and again, foreshadowing. Just promise me this won't come back to hurt me. You know it's going to as soon as she said, I promise. And then it does. And we don't know what that is going to be yet. We don't know. She might try to go back and fix it before it becomes a problem for her. But I have some theories on that, and I'll talk about that at the end. And so yeah, I mean, so a lot of that stuff is just it makes us really feel like a really good episode or series so far.
Danny, positives, brother.
I definitely like the scene where her mom was asking could she do an AI or the dad.
Oh, yeah, that was so good. Oh,
she saw how her friend came back and she was able to have some sort of a closure. Also, the guy that got killed, the Cake's right hand man, I like him, and even though he was a killer, to me he was one of the most interesting characters in the storyline, and because he was kind of like looking out for his boy, but still had to do what he had to do, and even though he's about to kill Riri, but still I like this character, and he was street smart, he was tough, he was loyal, so I like those aspects of him. I like the fact that it's like it's definitely going to lead to who we think it is. I'm ready to see him. I see he's listed on here. Yeah, I'm looking at the cast, and they definitely said Mephisto is going to be on there. Yeah. So I'm ready to see that reveal.
Yeah,
to see whether he's going to be in demon form or in human form. I'm wondering if she's on the same level as Tony Stark. Is she going to try and dabble with time travel like he did? I mean, I don't know. They're saying he's like she's on par, and like she's kind of modeling his suit a little bit. I like the Iron Man suit much better, but this suit's not bad. You really haven't seen any kind of repulsors that I don't remember seeing anything like Iron Man in any of the episodes yet. But she has a lot of similarities to him. But like I said, I don't hate the show. I had little reservations about it, but I definitely like the character interaction. I like the chemistry between the little gang. Each one of them got their own little specialty. I like that. I like the Cake too. He seems like I can't quite put it into words, but he seemed like he was kind of want to do the right thing, do the right thing, but doing the wrong way. He kind of had that feel to him to me. But then since his boy is dead, I think he's gonna just do what he need to do. He's gonna go all out evil. But I think he was kind of like I think he had that anti-hero character in him, which I kind of like that. But it's gonna be very interesting to see these next few episodes. I think look like from what I could tell, Mephisto showed the silhouette of Ironheart, I guess, telling him that's who killed his friend. That's the vibe I got. I don't know if y'all got that or not. So
that's gonna be
yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting to see. Because like he said in the movie, I don't know whether he just saying this or in the show that he loved all those in that particular gang and that team, which he kind of like talking outside his neck because he killed Rampage, or had Rampage killed, but he seemed like he was tight knit with that group. But now since his boy, who seemed to be his only moral compass, whatever you can say is a moral compass, and now all that's gone, I think he's just gonna fully dive into the cape and whatever evil properties that is going to bring even more than he has so in the past. So I'm interested to see his arc.
I do want to use that as a like also that what Danny said about the repulsors and all that different stuff, that the suit is not exactly like Tony Stark's Iron Man suit, and they made very clear they made it very good point to make sure people knew that when Joe, I think it was, asked her, "Where's your arc reactor? These things have to have an arc reactor," and she says, "I don't have that money. I can't do that. Mine's off of solar power." So they're making sure she's not just copying everything that Tony Stark did. This is really her own thing.
But on the same token, didn't Tony make his first arc reactor when he was like trapped in a cave?
Yes, but that's not the point. I think the point is that she didn't have the money per se,
or a missile that was from the Stark Industries that you could take all this stuff from and still same thing.
He had unlimited resources in a sense, right?
Well,
even in the cave he did.
He knew what to do with what he had. I think she's the same way. She knew what to do with what she had, and she did the things she needed to do to make the suit work in the way she had the resources to do it, which is solar power and all that. And like Danny said, you don't notice a lot of stuff that's exactly like Iron Man's suit because that wasn't what she was trying to do. She wanted to do stuff like that, but this suit has a different purpose. When you talk about helping people, Tony Stark's purpose for the Iron Man suit was to protect people, but in a way that he felt like he had to overpower and be stronger than the things he was going to face. She's not necessarily worrying about that. She's literally thinking about something that can go in and save people from drive-bys, like what happened to her friend and her dad.
And her stepdad?
What?
Her stepdad. Yeah, her stepdad.
Yeah, he's a stepdad.
Yeah, well, I said dad. I mean, but stepdad. Well, I think she like. I know. Yeah, it is. But so it's a different purpose for what she needs. So it doesn't need all of the power, but it needs to be quick and nimble and all that stuff. So again, you can see the differences between the two, and they're doing a very good job of expressing she's inspired by Tony Stark, but she's not blatantly doing the same thing that Tony Stark did. So,
right. So for me, my positives, I'm like you guys. I enjoy the interaction. I like the stuff with the mom. That was good. And like Danny said, when she was like, "Oh, can you make one of your father?" You know what I mean? And she was like, "Oh, I really can't." At first, I was like, the AI thing, it's not, I wasn't feeling it until I realized it's what they did in the comic. And then I was like, okay, so at least they did it in the comic. So they're kind of staying true to that there with that. So I was more, I guess, accepting of it. I loved the last episode. I thought that was the best one so far, especially when, she got found out by the dude that Danny said he liked, and they had that fight, and it was like, he was trying to kill her and then started begging for his life when she left him there. And to be honest with you, I can understand why she had to do it, right? Her cover would have been blown, and she already took a piece of the hood so that she could analyze it. So
Can I bring up something? And this is just from Elihu. I know he's not here because it's the internet, but he did write in the chat for this that a lot of people are calling Riri out for that. And as he said, she didn't really have to save him, because when she was being saved herself by her own AI and the suit and the AI kind of took her out of the situation. And by that time, the door was closing. Yeah, so 100%. She was still recovering from the CO2 loss, or the CO2 being in the room and stuff. So did she really leave him, or was she just literally, that was a bang bang situation? The AI made the decision and pulled her out.
Well, that's what everybody's saying, right?
That's the moral ambiguity, right? It's not so much did she or didn't she. How does she feel about it is what's going to be the relevant thing, right?
We're going to find out.
Is she bothered by it, or is she like relinquishing control of that situation?
We'll find out.
right?
Well, you could tell she was definitely
Person
bothered
who's
about
like,
it.
No, am I bothered by it? Not.
I
Oh.
think she was bothered more by the fact that she realizes the biotech was left, and she promised him.
No, that was after though. That was
Okay,
after though,
I
right?
see,
When she gets out of there and she leaves, right? She
is crying
in the
a little
suit,
bit.
yeah, and it's like, "Are you okay?" And then she finds out about the biotech, and that's what even worse. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And the guy that played Han Solo, I think he did an amazing job too. I thought he was really good, especially how he started off and then he ended up blackmailing her. He's like, no, you're gonna come help me. And I remember someone said something about his character, but I think he's going to. Well, I probably doubt we'll get any more Ironheart, but he's gonna be a villain. He's gonna turn into a villain. There's a villain in the comic that's him.
The hints are there.
Right. So he's going to turn into a villain. I can't remember who they said he was an enemy of, but he was someone who uses like the nanotechnology, but it's infused in his skin. And we saw that's what he was doing in the show, right? So he's going to be probably a villain. I don't know. We'll probably see the origins of him. We probably just won't see him doing villainous stuff. We'll see the origins of him. If they'll use him again, who knows? But it's interesting that they were doing that. Also, you could see like the flashbacks to the father, when her stepfather, when that stuff happened. I thought that stuff was really good, especially when they showed the scene. There's a lot of good stuff in the show. I think I think people are hating on it because of the usual suspects reasons. But if you really sit down and watch it, man, to be honest with you, hey, Vile Mike, what's up? It's better than I would say. I don't want to say WandaVision because WandaVision picked up towards the end, but I think I'm liking the first three better than at least the first part of WandaVision. It's better than Secret Wars. Secret Wars started off. What's that?
He calls himself Joe McGillicuddy. I don't know what kind of villain name that is.
It isn't. He's Ezekiel Stane, Obadiah Stane's son, and he does in the comic books become a villain for Riri and Ironheart.
Yeah.
His name is Joe McGillicuddy.
Well, that's what he goes by.
Okay. No, I think Danny's right though. I think they changed the name. And I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of like that connection to the Iron Man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That he was Obadiah Stane's son. Not to mention, he actually knew what really happened. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people said, oh, he died in a plane crash. But he's like, no, my father died trying to kill Iron Man. And I don't want to be like my father.
Changed that and made him not a villain. Although I hope he's not just going to be like an Ironheart sidekick kind of person. I wouldn't hate it if they made him not a villain in this rather than the villain he is in the comic books, just because he's like a really interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it follows along with the whole moral ambiguity thing, right? Like there's like you're faced with decisions and you make a decision, and then once you start seeing the repercussions of that, you go, you know what? Yeah, no, that's a bad decision. I can't keep going down that path. I have to choose a better path.
You see, here's the thing.
Obviously, that's where Riri's going, but maybe that guy does not.
No, but you see, here's the thing that I was thinking, and you're right. I think he may have been like, oh, I don't want to be a villain or anything like that. But because of what happened with her losing the biotech, that's going to cause a problem for him. And he's going to want to, get upset, maybe upset, revenge on her. And that's what's going to turn him into the bad guy. Because he said, I don't want to be like my father. And he also said, don't let this come back to me. And now it's going to come back to him. It's definitely going to come back to him.
Right.
So I think that's what's going to turn him into maybe not a full-fledged villain, but just someone that hates Riri and just wants to get back at Riri and wants to hurt her. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, at the end of the day,
it is Ezekiel Stane and Joe McGillicuddy in the comic books too. But he's
a super villain in the comics, guys. He's a super villain,
exactly.
and
he actively starts as a villain.
But he's also doesn't have this name or anything like that. He's just who he is. So I mean, he's an interesting character.
I just looked it up. He uses Joe McKillicuddy. It says in the
I just told you that 5 minutes ago.
So, but I'm saying that he's not like his dad's Ironmonger. He's not that. He just just who he is. He has his alter ego. That's just what it is.
But he's still Ezekiel Stane though in that too.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I said that, and then Danny said that was wrong.
No, he's both.
Danny said he already said that.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Well, I know, but I thought he was trying to tell me that what I was saying wasn't right because I said that, and then he said no.
You're good. All right. So, did Danny just leave?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, he left. So we're gonna do the negatives. We're gonna go back the way around. So, Chris, what are your negatives for this episode?
John seemingly being killed off. I don't know if he is killed off or not. It was, I mean, again, Parker and him are buddies in the comic book too, and I'm not sure how I feel about him being killed off so soon. Now, granted, it gives Riri reason to be remorseful for what happened, and it gives Parker motivation to let go and let whatever is the power of the hood take over him. So there's a purpose for it. I'm not necessarily against the fact that they did it. It's just I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of see that as a downside. Man, I as much as I love the third episode, I think the whole going into this greenhouse area and then him trying to muscle the guy into signing something when he already knows they have nothing on him. The guy knows they have nothing on him, and it just didn't play very well. It's like it just felt really flat, the whole interaction between the two, and then he goes and he kills him. It's like I don't know. The first part when they're in the tunnels and all that, okay, that felt decent. He's like, hey, we know this and we know that, and they have all this information. Again, I know he decided that they were just going to go forward with it, but it just felt very flat. And I don't know. I didn't mind the scene. It's just that whole interaction right there just felt really flat. I think those are two of my biggest negatives, and that was both in the third episode, even though I think the third episode was the best.
I got you. Danny, what about you? Did you have any negatives?
Yes, I got 3.
Go ahead.
I don't like the fact that John got killed. I think that was a bad idea for the writers. I think the AI got introduced probably episode too soon. And sometimes she can be a little bit aggravating, annoying, yeah. And the third thing, to me, it makes 0 sense why Shuri did not reach out to why we didn't reach out to Shuri and get some kind of, because she only helped them save Wakanda. So I don't understand why they're totally cutting that out. And some argument saying, well, she's trying to be independent and sort herself. No. She said in the opening scene that if she had the resources of Tony Stark, things would be different, and he wouldn't be Tony Stark without the $1 billion that he had, which I agree. Just like Batman wouldn't be Batman if he wasn't a billionaire. They would still have the same brilliance and intelligence, but they wouldn't have resources to certain things. So I don't see why she couldn't reach out to Wakanda, particularly Shuri, because her and Shuri had a rapport with each other. They had a connection. And I ain't saying she helped her, but Shuri could have put her way ahead of the game and I don't think Shuri would approve of her doing what she's doing to try to get where she's getting. So I don't understand. It's another thing, like I didn't understand why would Bucky have to go get a loan and he just helped save the world. That makes 0 sense to me. But so that's just the plot hole to me.
And I got you, because I think that's an argument that a lot of people are saying too. But I actually watched a video where they were kind of saying like, so first off, of course, they wouldn't let her take none of the technology out of Wakanda, right? Because they still, don't want, their technology in certain hands. And they're also saying, and at least from the video I watch, it's like, well, maybe she doesn't have no way of contacting anybody in Wakanda, right? It's not like they gave her like a little, hey, contact us whenever you need to. And they pretty much just picked her up off the street and kind of like left her like that. You know what I mean?
Who would she contact? Like, they killed
Shuri.
the entire family. Shuri's on the run, and she's in Haiti right now. I don't think she has a cell phone.
Shuri ain't on the run. She chose to go
away. So she's chose, but she's not at home. She's not sitting there with her next to her phone. She's gonna call M'Baku, but M'Baku gonna get her a cell phone. That's not a real way to contact them.
We're talking about 4 or 5 people. They're in the movie now. I'm just going back when I saw the movie. They had a little bug to reach the white guy. A fake.
They can reach her.
Whatever.
I'm sure they can reach her.
You don't think Shuri and her got some kind of way to keep tabs on her?
Shuri can probably reach her. He can't reach out to Shuri.
In your universe, the way it currently is, no, she does not. That's the answer to it.
Yeah, she has no way to reach.
That's just the way it is.
The reason why what Danny's saying makes a lot of sense, though, is because if you look at the comic books, they're like almost like partners. So like, yeah, but with the way they did the movie, I don't know if she had a way to actually contact her, but it makes total sense.
Then the argument about didn't let Tech go off Wakanda, that's not true because Bucky got a arm that comes from Wakanda. And now Captain America got wings and all that kind of stuff that comes from Wakanda.
That's a big difference, though.
Yeah, right. Because it is because right. And they know that you're going to protect that regardless of whatever. They don't know what could happen with Shuri. Someone rob her, where she's going to keep it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, they probably have more trust in those guys to give them that stuff than they.
I understand what you're saying, but Shuri was the only hero that helped save Wakanda from being taken over and destroyed by Namor.
Yeah, but she's still a 15-year-old girl, though. You still have to be careful with what the stuff you give her. You can't just give her anything. Will, look what she did to the suit that she stole from the thing.
I ain't said give her vibranium. I'm saying give her the funds to build her own stuff.
Right. Again, okay, I could see that, but again,
you don't have to have no Wakanda tech.
Write that into the plot.
She
can get a grant. They could fund her grant. Wasn't that the purpose of Chadwick Boseman going back to California, wherever he went to build that school? So why couldn't Shuri? She should have been Riri should have been the first student they signed up for that school.
That was when they had him. They don't have anyone else left.
And not to mention the grant she went to school for was the Tony Stark grant, right? So it seems to me like she's more enamored with Tony Stark and everything than actually with what happened with Wakanda, right? And again, like I said, I honestly don't think she has any way to contact anybody from Wakanda. But I mean, we don't know because they never tell us, right? They don't tell us why. They just, it could be definitely considered as a plot issue. So.
Because I'm telling you, if you save my home world, I'm gonna be like, hey, if you need me, this is where you can reach me. Kind of like that interstellar beeper that Sam
the pager.
Yeah. I need a Wakandan pager. Hey, when I need you, here it is. Same way Superman gives Jimmy Olsen that watch.
Proud to reach out that way, right? She wants to try and make it on her own kind of thing. I don't know. They don't really go into it, but it is questionable.
Right, that's the thing. Like, if they would at least given us something, then we could say, okay, that makes sense, or it doesn't make sense.
They did, but I'll talk about that under my
They did.
Okay, they gave her something. They gave her parting stuff with her, and they said certain things. But I'll get to it.
Gotcha. One more thing too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wouldn't the Sorcerer Supreme be hip to Mephisto? Have some because he is in his job to watch.
Technically, he's out. He's off planet.
He is, but not Wong.
You're 100% right with Wong. Yeah, that's a good point.
So to me, it's a good story, but they got some things that just not matching up with the groundwork that's been already laid, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? I'll say yes. Technically, you are correct, Danny, 100%. But how many times have we watched like a Captain America movie? Like, hey, where's the rest of the Avengers? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how many times we watch shows and Wong pop in out the blue. They shouldn't even be in there.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I know,
Yo.
but yeah, right. But there's times where it doesn't, and there's times where like nobody's there. So
Maybe the actor was like filming something else at the time. Didn't they film this like 2 years ago or something?
Yep,
So
they did.
some of the
Yeah,
stuff may
yeah.
not have happened that we've seen, like some of that stuff
Right.
that we would go, hey,
And-
but this happened.
and it
When
was
they
filmed
filmed this,
before
that
some of
hadn't
those movies
happened.
too. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
right.
Right?
Yeah, it was
So
kind of filmed before some of those movies too, because this should have
Right.
been out like 2 years ago. So
that might account
That
for some
makes
of those
sense, too.
like plot holes.
yeah, that
I mean,
Just a thought.
I would just say that it's Mephisto, so it's hard. I mean, if like I could see him masking, like he's very powerful. He's more powerful than Strange, so it's like this. I could see him easily. Like, and the thing is, the hood itself isn't like permeating or like where it knock Wong in his mind or like where he would sense it because it's like he uses very to do his deeds. So I could see that going under the radar without him even thinking about it.
I got you. Dandelion, what are your negatives?
Okay. My main negative, when you're drawing a comic book, cloaks and hoods look super cool. When you do them on a like live action show, they look so janky. Like, I'm sorry, but that like cloak, it looked so cosplay. Like, if you're gonna have a dude wearing a cape,
Yeah, this way is he's wearing a cape.
Looks so fucking
He's wearing
sinister.
a cape.
Like, man's gotta look so way more sinister.
Well,
Like,
wait.
honestly, he looks like
Cautious-
he's on his way to Comic-Con.
Cautious warning here. If we talk too bad or too much about that, Marvel people in on the TV shows and stuff will go back and look at oh shoot.
Well, it was the same thing when they did the
No,
X-Men.
no,
Yellow because it looked ganky. Like, it looked
no,
stupid.
it's not that. What was the damn Satan Spawn? Do you remember anybody who saw Spawn how crazy they went with his cape in that?
They made it look sinister.
McFarlane knows what he's doing. That's why.
Right?
Well,
Exactly.
And that's
McFarlane didn't
1999.
have everything to do with that either, though. I mean,
But
he
I'm
wanted
saying,
it to be like that, but
this though, honestly, this looked super like I'm on my way to Comic-Con.
yes,
Like,
but
that would be like, and I know
it was more like he was on his way to
Anzo, you
grandma's
were
house.
questioning
Like he was on his way to
race-
grandma's
the
house. Really.
racism stuff with it. Like, why is everybody who's like a person of color like turning to crime to solve their problems? And I mean, I can understand where you're coming from. Like, I don't want to like judge the show for that because obviously that's like also from the comics, so it's just like where it's at. But I wouldn't have hated if they'd throw like I don't question them doing that. Like, I mean, fuck, if I could do some crime to make money, I probably would, but I don't really know any crime to do. So I'm like,
most people would. You watch Squid
right?
Game,
Like, most
right?
of us don't have the opportunity to do criming. So,
But you see, again, I don't have an issue with that. I have an
Yes.
issue with people calling it out when there's white characters in the MCU that are criminals too.
yeah, I know,
but nobody says
absolutely.
that.
And I honestly think I wouldn't have hated if they had thrown in a couple of like pale folk to like round out the gang, as opposed to everybody sort of seeming to
I
be
got
like
you.
That's
Yeah,
not-
persons
that's
of
not your
color.
kind.
Like, I mean, I don't want it to like seem forced, and it didn't seem forced, but it did kind of, it was a little bit like, why, it just seems stereotypical.
100%.
In a sense, right? Like, they're in
Yes.
Chicago. Like, I mean, and the only thing she can
I
think
think
to do
that
is
is
commit crime.
because-
Like, it seems to me that, hang on, Chris, just give me a second to finish what I'm saying before you start blippity blapping again. Like, there's other stuff she could do. Like, obviously, she could probably fix like mechanical things for people. I think there are like legit shit she could probably do. And I understand it's part of the show. Like, she faces these moral, choices she has to make, and then she has to live with the repercussions, and it guides her on like a more virtuous path or something like that, right? Like, it's part of the journey in a sense. But on the same token, like I said, I wouldn't have hated if they'd thrown a few, like, a ginger in there, maybe, just, something else. Just to sort of like, I mean, again, nobody likes DEI, but, white people can crime. Looks like to me, like in the real world, white people do way more crime than anyone else. So
pretty much.
I think
it did just kind of like, it was just a niggling point for me, not like a huge, super huge like point of hatred. I really hated the Karen with the dog. Like, honest to goodness, I would have kicked that woman in the shins. Like, that was just nasty. But other than that, I realized, again, she was just a caricature. But anyway, yeah, no, the honestly, my main big thing was probably that hood, like the cloak. Because I mean, yeah, you look at the comic book, because I saw some images of the hood dude in the comic books, and he looks super sinister. But like, dude with his like little like curly little hair, and he just wasn't a very imposing character. Like, he didn't seem like, it was just like, I don't know. I guess if you've seen Supernatural, the guy that plays God, it's just like a nerdy dude. That was kind of the
Chuck
vibe.
is awesome. Don't talk about Chuck.
No, absolutely. But you get that same vibe. Like, is this dude really super sinister? Because he doesn't like, his friend seemed way more sinister than him.
He did. Right? His friend did. I agree.
I mean, no, he wasn't pulling off the hood for me.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think he's meant to be sinister, though, right? It obviously that he's doing what he's doing to get some sort of revenge for something that happened to him, right? So I don't think he's meant to be sinister. I just think the hood is starting to take over and having him do like kill people and stuff like that. Yeah. But his friend has always been the muscle. His friend has always been the one who's gonna, go out there and kill people for him. So yeah. So I don't think he's meant to be sinister.
Yeah. Okay. So what I was going to bring up really quick is where she's from in Chicago. What is the demographic of that area?
Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the country.
Well, I understand it. That's not what I'm bringing up. I'm
bringing up what's the demographic like.
Well, where she lives.
Yes.
Is it primarily a black demographic?
Everywhere in Chicago is segregated. So that answers your question.
Yes, but it's a yes. So whether or not it plays well or not, I think that's kind of why they did what they did.
No, absolutely. I
don't know what it is, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. We know Scott Lang, he's a thief. We know this. It would be okay to do that. I think they were just sticking with the theme of where the primary place they are in this on this series. That is.
I just honestly they changed so much shit. Like Byron was saying before, it isn't that. I mean, she doesn't seem that authentic of a representation of a black woman necessarily. So why couldn't they have changed some other shit too? That's all I'm saying. So.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
But here's the thing, though, right? And I'll say this because I hear what you're saying, Chris, about it's the demographic or whatever and where she's from, and I don't have a problem with that, right? I mean, it's a black show, it's a black show, so obviously the main cast is going to be black, right? Okay, You're going to have the criminals, right? But I think it gets balanced off with the mom, you know what I mean? The mom is there, a good person, stuff like that. We see that the stepfather was a good person as well. So I think that's where the kind of balance, unfortunately.
I think that's really a good thing.
The show is that's again, well resourced.
Right, but that's where the balance comes in, right? So, I mean, if this was an Ocean 11, everybody would be white. They'd all be criminals. No one's saying nothing, right? Oh, a bunch of white people going and robbing a bank. How come they always got to show the white people as criminals, right? And
Robin Hood.
Right.
Robin Hood robs. He's a hero because,
Right. So at the end of the day, I just those arguments are starting to they're starting to get played out for me. That's what it is. Because it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. Right. Now I get it. We can use some more positive representation. I say that all the time. But at the end of the day, if you go compare it to the white counterpart of movies, it's the same freaking thing, right? It's the same thing. You're going to have your movies where every white person in the movie is a criminal and stuff like that. So it's just, to me, I see it as the way these people hide their racism, right? To complain about certain things in the show instead of actually saying, we don't want a black show. so they're going to complain about all the stuff that's in it, like blah 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 blah, and that's the problem that I have with that. Brian, your thoughts, your negatives.
I'm so in between all you guys. Personally, as someone from Chicago, I don't like the storytelling. I think the dialogue is inauthentic. I'm telling you, this is what I know how black people speak. I know how we speak in Chicago. That's not real. All right. I think the way that her being the genius and being at MIT for 5 years, you tell me she's gonna do AI that way. That's not how AI is done. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I don't even like what you did off of your memory. It doesn't make sense. You don't even have the power to do those things and take a supercomputer. I think she would know that tech is developed differently. So I don't know how that even made sense at all. I think it was just poorly written in those things. I think that I feel this way about a lot of things. I feel like when you talk about a black household, everyone goes on how it's just what you see on TV. It's stereotypes all the time. And that's all they push, that narrative all the fucking time, and drives me nuts that, black people act like this, black women sound like this, black women do these things. Single family home, because this is what we always do. This gang violence, so someone has to die. So it's not like that. And like the majority don't live this way. Yet somehow this is in this one black character that we actually have that's a female, this is what we get. All right, so I just don't necessarily agree with that. I also, it's funny because I don't feel like the racism should have been a big part of this. Honestly, that's not what Riri Williams was about. She was always a rising above it. She was always seeing beyond it. She was so smart. She saw, doesn't matter what obstacles you put in front of me, I'm going to figure out how to do this. Like, she is above that. So why wouldn't you? This is your opportunity to show a positive family unit that, her mother is someone that she listens to and she confides in and supportive and all those things. You could have done that. You chose to make it the relationship that way. Why? There's no reason to do that. It doesn't feel authentic at all. And I know it should have feel like, and from looking at it, it just feels very like she's going to end up being a token black person. We're going to make you very stereotypical. We're going to make you do all the same things. All the tropes are all going to be part of it, or part of what you do. And you know what's funny? If this was a 10 episode thing, I think they could rewrite all of it. But they can't, because it's only 6 episodes. So everything's going to be on fast forward. So you put those tropes in, you can't even unravel them because you ain't got enough time. So like, those are just negatives.
Your boy coming in saying, flying Iron Man suit is okay. AI from brain scan is unrealistic. LOL.
I could go into the science of why AI from a brain scan doesn't make any fucking sense, but you don't want to go there, Tank.
Okay, but Tank does have a point though. A flying fucking Iron Man suit doesn't make sense either.
No, it does. We're talking about, you can actually make those type of suits. What are you talking about? You can do that. Like, yeah,
okay. So go make a nanotech suit. Go tell me someone that's gonna make a nanotech
suit. Is something that's is definitely further along in development. You can make an Iron Man suit. She's making it out of those things.
But you're not gonna make an Iron Man suit that can fly and have proton blasters and
she doesn't have any of that.
But they have it in the show.
But we're talking about her. I didn't say anything about Jarvis. I didn't say nothing about all this other stuff. I didn't say nothing about that, right? I talked about Riri. I'm talking about this show, IronHeart, right? Am I not?
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out what you mean, because so because she doesn't have the technology or the stuff to make the suit
the way that it's not how
she shouldn't be able to do it.
No, that's not how you make AI. That's what I'm telling you.
That's not how you make a proton suit or Michael
Iron Man suit.
It's fictional, bro. Like,
what are
we doing here?
No, I think you're talking about two different things. So you can definitely make that suit. That's the actual way to do it. They spend a lot of time in development of doing a lot of different things. They do They explain a lot of different aspects. They put in things out there. What's the rumbus?
Her suit
They
had a
try to
hand
use
that detached and went and grabbed a fucking brake on a fucking lift, bro. What are we talking
Do you
about
think
here?
that's different? AI. I don't even want to. AI is through complex code writing. Okay, it's through. I'm telling you, like it's through 4,000 lines of code writing through that to try to get a personality. You do not do it through a brain scan. It's not giving her the credit that she deserves. If you had told me that she still all night doing the code, writing line by line, understanding the entire aspect of what's going on, if you had told me that she did that, I would have said, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, that's because that's how things are written. That's how code is written. I know what code is. That's what is done. But you tell me that she just scanned her brain and you said that she all of a sudden had this AI. That's not how AI is made.
I'm gonna use Danny's thing, and he hasn't used it in a long time because he hasn't said it in a while. But this isn't real fucking life, Brian. Remember that, Danny? This is not real life, bro.
You're like, right, you know what? And if that's the case, then you can go ahead and put all the damn stereotypes in it. And I ain't got nothing to say about shit. All right, if you want to do that, you can put anything you want to. You can put anything on any character. Now, you can talk about what my negatives are. I'm gonna tell you from my point of view, because who I am as a chemical engineer, and who I am as a black man in Chicago, that what my negatives are. I'm not saying that I'm bad talking the damn show. I ain't talking about nothing else, but I'm telling you what my negatives are. So I'm telling you that's how it goes.
All right, brother. That's your negatives. I ain't saying nothing about it, but I'm just saying. For me,
so you're saying, oh, that's that. Oh, that's your real estate. That's not real estate. I'm like, no, bro. Y'all don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I got this. I know.
We know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, it's like you're trying to put real life stuff into a fictional show, but that's your negative.
He's right.
He's right. You're right.
He can have a negative, and these are his negatives.
But you know what? If you want, then you know what? If that's the case, I don't need anything to be. We're not gonna talk realism. We can just let everyone be whatever they want. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, you know, you can still be stereotypical. You can be all this stuff, and I'm not gonna worry about it. But if I'm gonna say it, and I wanted her to be this speaking of what she was, she pushed STEM in Chicago like 45% in high school. This is what Riri Williams.
I'm sorry,
did.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. What?
STEM. You know, STEM classes. You're talking about engineering for black women and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She did. So I'm talking about what this thing did. And to shortchange that when that's what this is to me is a travesty. But I'm looking at it for a different point of view. Yeah. But don't try to short what I'm saying, because I'm telling you, no, you're wrong. I'm telling you that this is why. It's important to talk about what it is. And that's only, it's not changing the entire show.
We're not saying you're wrong on this. What we're saying is, and it's always been since day one, Disney Plus and Kevin Feige in particular has always been a cherry picker.
Yeah, but can I not still say it's a negative?
I'm not saying you can't.
You know what? Can I still say that that's not good?
I'm not arguing that point at all. I'm just saying
you showed Tony Stark creating a fucking element by he showed it for 15. It didn't take much, right? You showed it, right? But then for Riri, she just had to scan the brain, and then we're not going to go into any of that. We're not going to understand who the character is. We're not going to talk about STEM research. Okay, I got you.
Well, like you said, I think y'all said earlier, this was filmed a couple years ago, so there's gonna be some flaws and stuff into it. I think maybe if they had more time and more money into it, then they might would have showed all that stuff. But TV shows, they only got 45. How long was it?
It would have taken
51 minutes.
No more than her watching her sitting there for 45 seconds and another minute of her showing that she was doing code.
Yeah, well, you're probably right, bro. I got no idea about that code stuff.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, I mean, no, I'm arguing about details.
I got you. What about you? So I gotta say this because and I think, man, I had a negative, I lost it, I got it back, then I started arguing with Brian, and then I lost it again. So
that's usually what happens.
Notes, ATN, always take notes.
Oh my god!
You'll think of it again while Warren's giving his.
I kid you not.
Bro,
I had it.
Nzo,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
you gotta invest in this, bro.
I think
You're not wrong.
Whenever I get an idea, I write it down because it'll get lost.
I jotted my shit down.
I tried to type it.
51. I told you 50 is the new disease, bro.
Oh, 100%. Because I had it at the beginning of the negatives, right? I said I got this to talk about, and then the guys went around, it disappeared, and then I think it was when Dandelion was talking, it came back to me. Then I went off with Brian, and then it was like poof, it was gone.
That's how you get that work. When we can walk in the room and forget something, 50 hit you again, didn't it? Yeah, it sure did.
100%. Warren,
it's not the oldness, guys. It's the weed. Don't be giving him credit.
Hold on. No. We will not be blaming the weed for this, bro. No, I'm sorry. This is definitely old age.
Mike over there, doesn't weed increase your memory? No, I always have a notepad open. If I think of something you guys are talking, I type it up there to remember.
That increases your appetite, Mike, not your memory.
Definitely. The munchies are in full effect, bro.
It increases your need for feed.
100%. Warren, go ahead with your negatives, brother.
I got a couple. So
what? I can't believe it.
You know it, Danny. You know it. So first negative is that I kind of have to agree with Brian. I think they could have elaborated, like at least give it another. If they're gonna do 6 episodes, they always do a long episode. I think they could extend this episode by another 5 minutes or so. It wouldn't
have a long episode, bro. It's 51 minutes.
Oh, I mean, another 2 minutes is not going to be hard to extend to give some explanation because
that was episode 2, right? Or was that 1?
3.
It was 2.
No, with AI with
AI was 2. AI was 2.
So it was like 41 minutes, right? You could have put an extra minute.
Extra few minutes could have fixed that. That's one. Second, I think they missed out on an opportunity to have Pepper in the show because
100%.
Because Pepper would have been, first of all, you have a suit flying around, and she's still head of the company, I believe, and she could have still. So I'm kind of baffled that Pepper has not reached out to Riri of all people. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, okay, Wakanda
couldn't afford Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, Gwyneth Paltrow. So stop, please.
You're shocked about Pepper, but not shocked about. Sure.
Yeah, for a TV show, they probably couldn't afford her. Yeah, for a TV show, no, they probably couldn't afford her.
Danny, big difference is that she is here in the States. Wakanda is on a totally different continent. Like she can.
Wakanda is the most technologically advanced.
I'm not
city on the planet.
But Danny,
you're saying that she has a connection because she had the Tony Stark scholarship.
Hold on, man. Let me give you reply back. First off, no, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm giving you an explanation. Wakanda is on a totally different continent. Pepper is right here, so she don't have to show up in a scene. She can call over the phone and be like, "Oh, hey, Riri, could get." She literally was on the field of Endgame in an Iron Man suit. I'm not saying that the tech that Tony's tech is still pretty good. Last I checked, and last I checked, Pepper's not an idiot. So can you tell me she can't help her out?
The same way she called little boy and left him alone that she didn't do, right?
But then she wouldn't have the whole plot of her making questionable decisions. Like her getting like a Deus ex machina from like another rich person would kind of defeat the whole purpose of like the storyline they're weaving, where they're having to make difficult decisions.
Hold up, and you said she's too rich. Someone said that Gwyneth Paltrow. They had Don Cheadle show up in like two series. Like, what are we talking about money wise? Like Gwyneth Paltrow coming up. Like, I'm not saying it has to be right now. I'm saying
contractually obligated that. I agree with you on that she can show up on there if she
because I'm assuming we're gonna probably see Pepper again at some point.
Well, wait a minute. Contractual obligation to movies is different from obligation to Marvel TV shows, and they are considered two different studios now because they've gone and said Marvel and then Marvel Television. So it depends on what her contract says.
But I think that he's making sense though. What he's saying, basically. if they wanted to put the money into the show, they already said they're not going to put the money into the show. They already said they finished it 2 years ago, right? And now they're just releasing it. So this is like, come on, like Black Widow. Like if it would have came out right then, yes, you could argue that they should have brought these people in, but now they don't have to because it's 2 years later. So
this is going to be a one and done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
100%.
they didn't
Yeah, I
want to put
heard-
this out before.
Yeah.
yeah, I hear it's so and then that's also my other negative is that I wish we could have like seen I don't think we get enough of like I wish we would have got like a little flashback of Parker, like just. But I'm assuming that's gonna be a later episode, like how he like got the hood. But maybe I'm jumping the gun there, so that's kind of on me. But yeah, the biggest one for me was that fact that like you could have got someone else have called her. Heck, it could have been Happy Hogan. Happy could have called her, even him. Like, what do we like? There's so many other people that could have called her because there's a flying suit, literally that looks almost, but not identical, similar. And you're telling me nobody reads the news. Everybody's Helen Keller. Like, come on now. Like that's my thing. That's what I'm saying. Anybody could have reached out to this girl. Like literally anyone. And it doesn't have to be a superstar. Someone who makes it. So that's my biggest gripe. I think it's a missed opportunity. And again, the number 4 is that these series are too long, too short. Sorry, they're just too short. They need to just be 8 episodes.
Yeah, 6
That's
is too. There's not enough time to do any type of development.
Agreed. 100%.
That's
At least on this, I haven't seen any fillers yet.
That's true.
You don't have time for fillers.
But we've seen in the past other shows
wrong,
do fillers and be like, I don't know about this episode. I've heard y'all made this argument. You can take this episode out and it still don't move the story. Every episode is moving the story. So
even the filler episode should move the story. And yeah, this doesn't leave time for any of that.
So if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. You said the bank episode in Daredevil, y'all could take that out. I think it was Brian and Nzo saying
100%.
Yep.
That was a full episode. It was how many episodes of Daredevil?
9.
7, 9.
Is there 9 or 12?
It's 9.
No, it was 9. There was 9. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. That episode, and I think it was another one too, where I was like, yeah, that could have kind of been filler. But I know that one for sure was 100% filler. But yeah, with 6 episodes, there better not be a filler episode, because if there is one, that's gonna just bring. Yeah, if there is one, then it's gonna bring this series down a lot, because now you only have 2 episodes to finish out the story, right? And it's gonna feel rushed if they do that. So.
Well, they're dropping them 3 at a time. That's interesting in itself.
Yeah.
So that means they also know they have to have these episodes that go back to back to back to kind of fill in the gap.
They should have gone and did all 6.
They should have, but I think so. Again, here comes the internet stuff, and they dropped it all like this because they didn't have faith in it. But what
it's like the number 1 streamed show on Disney Plus.
Yes, but the reason why they dropped, and this is context that people don't talk about, especially those channels, is that they don't want their TV shows to run into the movies anymore, right? So that's why when Daredevil came out, you got the first 2 episodes, and then you got the rest, and then the next, I think it was Wolverine or whatever movie came out.
Yeah, because if they don't drop it, I don't mean to cut you off, Nzo. Yeah, this is going to run into Superman, and I don't know whether that's going to steal any thunder. It shouldn't.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, and it looked like DC is killing Marvel.
Yeah.
Right, and not only run into Superman, they said the last episode or the second to last or the last episode, one of those 2 would be premiering the same time Fantastic Four premieres, right? So again, that's
originally it was the first 3, then 1 each week. Yeah, but they changed that.
Yeah, right. So I know people like to put that narrative in there, and I just wanted to say that. Warren, did you have any more negatives?
No.
Okay, cool. So me, I remembered it, and because it started, I get what Brian's saying with the AI, because even though I don't agree with the certain things about it, but I get it, because I was like, she trashed that suit and she fixed it in a day and a half. You know what I mean? Like she
I think
trashed the
it's a tough
suit. Huh?
It's a tough suit. You just have to put the pieces back together.
I wonder what it's made of.
She trashed it. Like pieces went flying. When she's walking, all she has is half of that chest plate on. Everything else is gone, right? So she has to build the legs, the boosters, the front, the helmet, the arms, everything. She had to build everything over again. And I'm like, I know you a genius, but there's not enough time for you to fix that in one.
She had all the stuff right there in her living room and kitchen.
Let me say one thing, Nzo, for
someone
who has put toys together for their grandsons. That first one is a SOB. So once you get on that second one, you can kind of fly because you know what you're doing. Now, I ain't saying that was enough time, but I'm saying when you're doing something the first time and you know it, the second, third, fourth time it's easy because you know, okay, this bolt goes here. I'm just making that argument. But I agree with you. 1 day and a half is kind of fast with that kind of difficulty. But I will say, as someone who has put together a lot of toys for their grandsons, that first one you scratching your head, but when that second one, you can cut your time considerably.
No, I can definitely agree with that. I do. I just think with the complex of the suit, it's going to take more than that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, that's just one of the negatives that I had.
But then my thing too is, where should you get the fuel from it? Because that rocket's gonna run off of something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right.
But
so it's not just
that for Tony Stark season. I mean, it's
but they don't have to explain it. They don't have to place for Tony. He's a billionaire. Yeah, he can get that anywhere. He's probably has abundance in.
She's a
broken. They don't explain what actually powers what. And that goes back to the disbelief of reality. You just should buy into it, and they expect you to buy into that part. Because if we're going to explain every little bit and show her going to a store and buying rocket fuel or whatever,
they did show her going to the junkyard to pick up parts.
But the junkyard has parts. Okay, so again, they can only go so far into detail about how she's doing everything. Or that's what the whole show's going to be. So, I mean,
I get that point. I'm just making little.
Always for me, the big. I'm sorry. Go on.
No. I was just going to say, I get it. I agree with you too. I like, you know what I mean? They can't be showing everything and stuff like that. And Mike, yes, I know it's a documentary. I'm just saying, in general, like Brian said, that was one of his negatives. That's just a negative. But go ahead, Brian. You were saying.
My biggest thing about the whole IronHeart, because Riri Williams really is about STEM, which is about all that stuff, about actually code writing and understanding engineering and all those things. So skipping on that for this character is a big flaw. That's a big problem. It's almost it's to a point of not having black people in black in Captain America or in the Winter Soldier, or it's part of it. That's my problem. Is like, okay, you have a Black Panther and not have the Dora Milaje. It's to that point. It's that big of a problem. So to just say I'm just going to use brain scans to just do it, I think hurts the character itself. Because of what it means.
Are you saying basically that it was not hands-on enough? She would have been more interactive with the actual process, and basically what they did is they showed her putting these brain
and then this program is going to do it.
It's like they dumbed her down because they were worried we wouldn't be interested.
Yeah. But it literally only takes a
we
few
wouldn't
seconds.
be interested in her actually spending 5 minutes doing code or just showing her, typing.
You should see a whole list of it, and you see her quickly typing something like that, and that's it. You understand now? She wrote an entire program overnight.
Maybe what they're saying is,
hold on, because here's what I'm saying, and to that point, right? From what I read, she was using the Iron Man technology that he used in the one where he showed his family, where he showed his family, showed him young. She was using that same technology.
I got you. Yeah.
So I don't.
That's why they didn't see her using code or anything.
But that's her not using STEM. Like this, her not being the character that she is. She's just using someone else's stuff when she is this genius in those areas. That's who she is. It's literally what's the point of her?
Maybe, and this is just kind of going out there on a limb thing. Maybe they thought by showing it the way they did, they're just showing that she's so smart that even when she sleeps, she can code. That her brain is thinking while she's sleeping and making it happen. I'm not saying that plays well in the way that they showed it, but maybe they thought this is what we show. She's so damn smart that even when she's sitting there sleeping and putting this on her brain's still working, and she knows her brain's still working on it. Again, I don't buy that. I don't like that, but maybe that's what they thought.
Well, from just Chris Mate, from what I can tell, and if the numbers are right, it's not a flop. People are watching. You know what I mean? Whether they're watching it for hate or watching it because they literally enjoy it, people are watching. Yeah. So it's not really a flop. It could be a little bit of both. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the numbers, it's not a flop. So it's doing pretty well. You know what I mean? Either or, whichever way you want to look at it. All right. So we're gonna get into our overalls and not our overall. Sorry, final thoughts and grades for the 3 episodes. Danny, you first.
I give it 3 episodes. I give it a strong B+. I think we're going to see the Cape go. He doesn't have a filter now. I think his friend John was more of his filter, and now that he's lost that, I think he's going to go deeper and down that hole. I think you're going to probably see Mephisto either on the 5th or 6th episode. I'm not sure how it's going to end. I don't know, but I'm definitely interested in seeing it. Trying to think.
Think about that. Let me answer this. Hold on. Yeah, watch numbers have never been lied about. Maybe they have, but you can't tell me if they are or not. You can't prove that they're lying about it, right? So maybe they do lie, maybe they don't. But no, he's talking about this show, IronHeart flopping. And he's saying that they never lie about the numbers. Maybe they do, but do you have proof that they do? Right? Do you work for them and you can tell me that they're 100% lying about the numbers? You can't do that. So I'm gonna go with what they say. Simple as that.
He still has stuff, I think.
I don't have to prove they're real. That's what the numbers they're giving us. But you can't assume they're not real. They've given us numbers, and those are the numbers, whether they're not true or not. But you personally can't tell us that they are because you don't know. That's what I'm saying. So you can argue all you want to. They gave numbers, you saying they're not real, but at the end of the day, you don't know that. So
negative.
Chris, go ahead.
Well, was Danny done?
I think so. He muted anyway, so go ahead.
My theory is that John may not be dead. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do it, but I don't think he's dead. And or Parker's going to, just like Danny said, give in completely, because he's going to blame himself. He's going to say, I didn't listen to him. He told me not to do it. I did it. And he's just going to say, I'm done. And I'm going to give this I'm going to give it an A- so far. I think it's doing really well. I agree with a lot of the things that Brian brought up. I got a lot of friends up in Chicago, and he's right. This is if there's anything that's written in Chicago, I think that things like Blues Brothers and other shows were done very well because they were kind of that feel. But I give them a pass because perhaps not as many people have an idea of what the Chicagoland area is like. But still, I get his point. But I still think overall for a series and for the demographic portrayed in the series, it is done well. We see a positive influence from a stepfather, even though he's dead. He was a positive influence. the mother is a positive influence on the daughter. There's a lot of positivity in what we see. So that's a good thing. So I mean, with everything that I've seen so far, I'm going to give it an A-. And I don't think it's going to go downhill, really. I think they left it, again, we've talked about penultimate episodes. They left the third episode at a great place. It is a place where somebody supposedly has died. A piece of tech that she promised would not get out in the open, and she promised to protect somebody from being caught, is now out in the open, and she cannot keep her promise currently in the state that it is. That is a lot of stakes to be left wide open until tomorrow. For a whole week, we have to wonder, how is she going to resolve this? What's the consequences for her, the AI, the suit, whatever left John there to die, if he did die? What are the consequences of that? How does Parker take that, because he was the one that decided? There's a lot of questions, but not too many to answer. There are definite questions, and those definite questions should be easy to answer. This is the best I have seen yet of a cliffhanger, almost, of anything that Marvel has done as far as a TV series. So I'm going to give it an A-.
Yes,
I got you. And now what I'll say too is, and because I know we talked about the father and stuff like that, you know, and him being the stepfather passing away. I get the fact that there's never a father in these households, 100%. That's still some shit that's always in these shows, and I hope they do change that sooner or later. But again, that's another part where, you know,
it's a very important part though in her comic book. That is something that is like a moment that kind of pushes her. So that I wouldn't want them to change that.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I'm saying that, but I'm saying it's even still, it's just another one of those things that we go through all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you have all these shows where the father is not there, and you know, so I mean, they usually always make the mother strong, and that's great, right? It's great to see strong Black women and stuff like that. But I think we also need to see a balance of strong fathers as well.
Yes, but I think the difference there perhaps is that they didn't make the father just leave or not be in the picture.
I mean, technically they did, because it was a stepfather. So that means someone.
I understand. What I'm saying is the father figure, and we all know, doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter if you're Black or white. There are lots of instances where fathers leave and the stepfather steps in, becomes the father. Yeah, I have two kids.
He's 100%
I still talk to that are not mine, that sometimes consider me more of a father than their own father. Which,
100%. No, and that's great. But even
what I'm saying is that there was a strong father figure, and they didn't just write out a part. That father was somewhere at some point. He is still in it. It still was an impact on her life.
Yeah, and it's great. But what I'm saying is, even with that, it's either the father left or they kill them off. There's those the two options, right? So whenever there's never a father in the house, it's always one of those two options, where the father is dead or he left. So
do you blame that on these people or the comic books?
No, I just blame that on Hollywood in general, of how they portray the Black family. You know what I mean?
Wait, this isn't Hollywood. This was the comic books. The comic books started out.
I know, but I'm talking about in a general sense, because even though it started off in the comic book, it's still a part of the stereotype that we go through. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Dandelion, go ahead.
I think I'm going to give it a BB plus. Like the show. That's sort of my baseline. Lots of room for up, lots of room for down. I think they're still going to be fooling us, and it's not going to be Mephisto at all. It's going to be Damamu. Yeah.
No, there's
like
already
that. Because they keep every time we get a show, everybody's like, oh, finally Mephisto, and I think they're just going to keep leading us on.
There's already
they're going to hold on to that character until they're like, we've run all these Marvel comic movies into the ground. We need a really big supervillain, and they're going to hold out on the super villain for At least another 5 years before
there's already leaks of him as Mephisto, though. That's what I'm saying. So it is him. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, it is him.
I still think they might be teasing it, but yeah. Other than that, yeah, I'm enjoying.
Are we gonna is somebody else going to the emergency room? Do we just need to call an ambulance now that we're going to be talking about Mephisto for the next?
No, we're going to find out tomorrow, so no one's going to need to go.
That's true. That's very true.
I don't really care one way or the other. I can see them leading everyone on again.
I got you, Brian. Go ahead.
Overall, I'll probably give it a B. I feel like there's details that you missed out on the show, but am I going to argue with the making the show? I'm glad they released the show. So I mean, that would have probably done more harm than me complaining about details because I want greatness from a character. That's neither here nor there. I think that this is still doing a good job storytelling. I mean, but it's just very surface level. I would rather a deep dive, but you can't do it in 6 episodes. So if you're gonna give me 6 episodes, surprise because you're gonna get surface level information. You know, like my question is, what happened to the vibranium detector? Like she made that, right? And CIA all made it, and they all used it to find vibranium. Isn't that enough to keep your grant? Isn't that enough? So I mean, I have questions, but I feel like a deep dive it'll take a deep dive to go into there. And you can't do it in 6 episodes. So it is what it is. I'll give it a B so far.
Mike, thank you for listen, okay. I actually sent that clip to Danny and them. Danny, you know what I'm talking about, right? The clip about the IronHeart that I sent you. I kid you not, because I said I was going to do a video on it, right? But I couldn't actually find the original clip. So I had to go through every single one of these fucking clown shows, and I was getting sick to my stomach. Now, obviously, I wasn't watching.
About the whole...
Yeah. The Geeks and Gamers crap.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So now I wasn't really watching the shows because I knew who was on the panel. So I was looking for the show with that panel, and I went through like 20 episodes of their stupid ass show to try and figure it out. And it
was neurotic, wasn't it?
What's that?
It was neurotic, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Okay, and maybe it was.
I think that was his show.
Okay. I'm really gonna have to go, guys. I can't.
No problem, Dandelion. Take care.
I know I'm getting antsy here, but I got a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I got to run too because my show already started.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we're closing it up anyways. Just a video.
I'm looking forward to next week. I'll see you all then.
So.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody.
No problem. Have a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Nerdrotic
Daily. Tell the people where they can find you. Okay, so I have that. I'm gonna.
I'm 1/3 of Sport of Kings, guys. I'm going on live right now. We're on live Thursday and Saturday too. So I'll see you next week, and hopefully I'll be a lot more positive about the details. So
you're good, man. It's all good, brother. Chris, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
I think Warren has to give his grade and all that.
Oh shit, yeah, Warren, my bad.
B+. Show's pretty good. Finding like good pacing. I'm happy that they don't do reveals take too long for them. They've actually sprinkled it in. And
peace, Brian. You can bounce if you have to.
Peace, I'm out.
Yeah, peace, brother.
Take care, Brian. I think that my final thought. I think that Parker and Riri are going to team up to beat Stain. That's what I think is going to happen. Because he's gonna have a little bit. I think that there's like a little bit of good in him. He's gonna have a little bit of redeeming quality. I don't think he's gonna be full-fledged. Like he's gonna be a full-fledged villain, but I think Stain's gonna show up because we always get the man behind the man, and we've seen the hood, right? So that's I think it's gonna come down to them both fighting. Ezekiel Stain, but that's just my thought. So yeah, that's all I got.
Very interesting. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna give it a B2 as well. It's not like the best series, but again, like Danny said, it's not the worst. I'm seeing a lot worse than that, so I give it a B. Teetering on a B+, I would say that. So it's not horrible, and I'm definitely interested in seeing the next 4 episodes. You know, at least this show is doesn't have me saying, "Oh, I can't watch this crap." Now my son watched it and said it was crap, and then he said he ain't watching no more. But I get it, right? So some people that actually don't like it, I can understand. But for me personally, I think it's not bad. So I give it a B, and I like Warren's prediction. So we'll go from there. Chris, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on the Real Review 3000 here on Chaos Central, over on Big Afford Entertainment, sometimes on the Road to Wisdom, on Star YT, and lots of other channels. Right now, we're just doing live stuff. The weekly wrap up, which is on Sundays. We play Jackbox games and all of that. And let's see here. I need to go and find something really quick. And also, we got the Chaos Central shows. Mondays, every Monday of the first 3 weeks, we do one of our shows. Next week it'll be Danny's, the Chaotic Conversation, and the week after that it'll be the Chaos List, where we've been doing debates recently, and then the week after that it is mine, the Rule of Three. Also, currently right now on Chaos Central, we do have a poll up. I need to go find it really quick and pop it up here so you guys can see it right here. I will share this screen, entire screen, and right here, I believe. Yep. Okay. This is this week's poll. If you can share that, please, Nzo.
Mm-hmm.
It says, should Danny, Nzo, and Chris do Jackbox games and what the dub on the fourth Monday of every month? And right now, as you can see, only once in a while. So we're still trying to figure out what to do on the fourth week. Maybe not every month, but every once in a while to have another thing to do. But if you can go there right now, it's at Central Chaos on Twitter. If you're not a part of Twitter, I understand, but you can always email info@chaoscentral.com. You can email your suggestions, because we are always open to suggestions, like to listen to what you guys have to say. And we appreciate every one of you who come to watch stuff on Chaos Central or any of our channels. So, guys, thank you very much for having me, as usual. Nzo, thank you. And I want to thank everybody that was in the chat. Thank you.
Absolutely, 100%. I appreciate all you guys that came in here to enjoy this stream with us. Mike, definitely. Hey, Mike, you know what? DM me if you want to go at that with me, man. I would definitely like to have you on a video or something with those guys. So let me know if you want to do that with me, man. Vio Mike was up in here. Ron was up in here. Dandelion. Well, Dandelion was in the chat. But everybody that came in here, much appreciated. Tony, thank you for coming in, man. If I forgot anybody, I do apologize. But we will be back. I'm guessing, I don't know. Hopefully we can figure out a day to do the next one too, but we'll do the next three as soon as possible. He said, fun brothers, fun banter squad. Oh, I thank you, man. I appreciate it, Ron, man. So it's always fun, when we do this, you guys come in and enjoy the show, man. So I appreciate that. Other than that, thank you, everybody, for popping in. Peace, love, and hair grease. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.
I am inevitable. Oh, yeah. This is another Chaos Central production. Chaos List. Starring my main man Nzo. 1/3 of three-headed monster we call the Chaos Central crew. This intro's by this show, the Chaos List. I hope you like it, bro. Here we go. The Chaos List is the name of the show, and the name of the host you know is Nzo. If you say something crazy, dumb, stupid, or wrong, it's a one-way trip to the fandom zone to be like Nzo. Hold up, I didn't mean it. Guess what, son? Your ass should have seen it coming. Gotta watch what you say, just like the Mandalorian. And this is the way. Monday night, 9 o'clock. Second Monday of the month, this is the spot. So get ready, strap on in. The crew is ready, so let's begin. So let's go.
Greatest trick the devil ever pulled?